The NC State Wolfpack and Dave O'Doran are looking to plunge forward with a 10-win season this year. I think they're really set up for that. The question is, can they produce it on the football field? Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with another preview video today. I do this one off camera today. Kind of tired, being honest, but looking at the 2022 NC State Wolfpack football preview for this upcoming season. You look at what they did last year. They went 9-3. Their bowl game was canceled, unfortunately. They were set up to play UCLA in the Holiday Bowl on December 28th in San Diego. So they won their last two games. For their last five, when you look at it, they had only 3 losses, and they were not bad either. One of them being to an SEC team in Mississippi State. They did beat Clemson in double overtime. They beat teams like Louisiana Tech, who is a pretty good team. Can't complain too much there. That was a close game, though. They lost by 1 point to Miami. They lost by 3 to Wake Forest. They ended up losing by 2 touchdowns. I mentioned losing to Mississippi State. So they were close losses. They bring a lot back to this upcoming season. So what they had last year, a lot of returning talent, especially on offense. They've put in some good offensive tackles like Ike Mikwanu to the NFL draft, of course. But they bring back a lot on the offensive side of the ball, especially Devin Leary at quarterback. He had a broken leg in 2020. He was a big question mark going into the season. This past year in 2021, he went over 3,000 yards throwing, 35 touchdowns, 5 picks, attempted 431 passes, completed 283 of them. So he was around the 60 percentile, right? He went 6 straight games without an interception and threw for over 300 yards in 6 of his 12 games, right? Anthony Belton is supposed to be on the offensive line. Senior Bryson Spees and Timothy McKay, who is a sophomore. Tim McKay will be right tackle. They bring in wide receivers in Devin Carter and Thayer Thomas. They both come back. Thayer Thomas have 51 passes for 596 yards and 8 touchdowns. So the bottom line is that their offense returns a lot, right? And for a team that was just shy of 10 wins, you could look at it for next year and say they have a really good shot to maybe do that again, possibly going forward. I mentioned their schedule. Beat teams like Clemson, beat teams like Tech, beat teams like Boston College and Florida State. Had they played in the Holiday Bowl, would you have taken them over UCLA? I probably would have. I think it would have been a good game to watch. Unfortunately, though, like I said, it was canceled. But let's go ahead and dive into what they got coming in this season in 2022. Let's take a look at the 2022 football schedule for NC State Wolfpack. All right, open it up. East Carolina Pirates. I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit. East Carolina on the road, Charleston Southern, Texas Tech, UConn. Then they finally get into some conference play here at Clemson, Florida State, at Syracuse, get a bye week, Then you got a pretty interesting stretch here to close it out. Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Boston College, at Louisville, and at North Carolina. I really think they're going to take just a small step back, just like little bitty, right? I think Ikemi Kwanu is something interesting to have to replace. Um, Jordan Houston um, comes back in the run game. Sophomore Demi Sumo Cargnabe, if I'm even saying that right, he comes back. They return a lot on offense, and it's going to be awesome to see. I think it's going to be one of the more intriguing offenses and probably mystery teams in college football this year in NC State. Um, Seriously, though, I mean, it is a tough stretch and a tough schedule, though. I mean, going through the ACC, which I think personally, I know we clown the ACC and we really look at Clemson and poke fun at them because they're always a playoff team and national title contender, but they don't play good competition. I'm kind of using some air quotes there. I have said it, but I do think that a lot of these teams, like an NC State, like a Miami, like Pitt, I think that they're going in good directions to where the ACC is regaining some relevancy and good competition. So you look at their schedule here. Speaking of competition, at East Carolina, Charleston Southern, Texas Tech, they play UConn, at Clemson, Florida State at home, Syracuse on the road. They get a bye week. Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Boston College, at Louisville, and at North Carolina. Back-to-back road games there to close the season might not do you a favor, although I think that's kind of where you want that because by that point in the season, this team should have an identity. This team should be elite. This team should be dominant. This team should know what they're doing. Yeah. I'm high on teams like Louisville. I'm high on teams like Wake to do better too. Clemson, I expect to get back and possibly be in the college football playoff. Syracuse, that's a tough game there. Mentioned some of these games. Are there any trap games? And I apologize I didn't make a banner for it. I'd really, even if, I still would have made a banner and probably put none, but I really don't see much trap game. I mean, I'd be careful. Maybe the only one I see possibly is Virginia Tech, Wake, and Boston College. Those are 3 straight home games against middle of the road ACC teams that we don't know exactly what they're going to do this season. We don't know exactly what they hold. We don't know what they're going to look like. Are they taking steps forward or taking steps back? I mentioned Wake Forest, who competed last year for the ACC title. Of course, Kenny Pickett and Pitt took care of that, but Wake Forest, with Sam Hartman, what they got going over there, they bring some good production back. I expect them to be just as good, if not maybe just a little bit less than what they were last season. So, yeah. Florida State, I like Mike Norvell. I think he's doing something. I think he's doing good in the sense like he's recruiting, he's putting it on the field, but I don't think he's doing it to the best of his timing. I still think Florida State is still rebuilding in a sense. Clemson, like I say, they should be back, but we'll see. Louisville, I expect to have a pretty good season. I think I had them like 8-4. I had them just above 500. I expect Louisville to be one of the more surprising teams and be pretty good. Just being a good competitor this upcoming season. North Carolina, I expect to take a step back. As much as I love Mac Brown and I like the Tar Heels in recruiting, and they do return some guys. They did lose a quarterback in Sam Howell to the draft. who I believe, where did Sam Howell go? Didn't he go to like Washington or something? Somebody remind me, but um, he gone. Uh, Ty Chandler, I believe, who was a Tennessee transfer. Um, he is with the Minnesota Vikings. So they lost their running back. They lost a couple receivers and some guys on um, the defensive side of the ball, too. And of course, losing their quarterback. So I expect North Carolina to take a step back. I'll say this. You can expect, hopefully, the bowl game they'll make a bowl game. They'll get good. Hopefully, it's not canceled for NC State. I'm going to go ahead and throw up my prediction, though. I think 9-3, and I think the losses all on the road. I'm going to say an upset in Syracuse. I'm going to say they lose to Clemson. And I think by late in the season, not that NC State won't have their identity or be found or anything like that, but I would bet on a team like Louisville late in the season that they're coming up strong in some games. And I think one of those games could be against NC State at home for Louisville at Cardinal Stadium. They should beat teams like Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, UConn, like the non-conference schedule. It's it's a non-con schedule at East Carolina, UConn, Texas Tech, right, from the Big 12. It's not bad teams, but it's not too much to ask for. It's not too much to handle. So they should be good there. Clemson, could they go and upset Clemson? If Clemson doesn't figure things out, yes. But I don't think they upset a team like Clemson because of who NC State is. I think if they upset Clemson or whatever, I think it's one of those where Clemson is not figuring things out and is still struggling on the struggle bus like they were this past season. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I see them losing to Clemson, Syracuse, and Louisville this year. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the comments section below. What do you guys expect from NC State in the Wolfpack and Coach Dave Doran, and what they could do this year? Because I mentioned they do bring back Devin Leary. They were ranked number 12. The whole team was, by the way, number 12 in Athlon Sports, top 25 for the 2022 college football season. By the way, coming up in August and everything, before we get to right at the beginning of September, I will put out a top 25 preseason poll on the channel, and we'll get a lot of great stuff, man. We'll get preseason polls, we'll do New Year's Six bowl predictions, all these cool preseason stuff. But we're going to continue on for now through the Power Five, still going with the ACC. Actually, I think, is this it? Let me double check something. This might be it for the ACC. If that's the case, we're moving on to the Big 12. If not, you guys hold tight, but we're trying to move through it. I think I only had NC State and Syracuse. I got Syracuse up earlier. I got NC State here. I've done Boston College and Pitt and North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Louisville. I pretty much have done the rest of the ACC, so I think we're pretty much set to move forward, and I think we're going to do the Big 12 next. Then we'll do the Pac-12, and that will be all of the Power 5. I'm excited, guys, and I hope you have enjoyed most, if not all, of these college football previews I've done this offseason going back to the spring. And out of respect, I started with Georgia, the defending champs in the SEC. So, but yeah, we're pretty close here to the end of the ACC previews. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We do all kinds of college football content. We do a little bit of baseball with live stream reactions. And when basketball season rolls around, we're going to get into some NBA and we're going to get into some college basketball too. So I love you guys. Jesus loves you. He's got an amazing plan. I believe that. And if you believe that too, a lot of great things can happen. Y'all have a good one. I'm out of here. Ballard Sports Media, checking out. Love y'all. Peace.